Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Dr. Cathy Alinovi joining us here live today, as well as Simba. Before he makes, his way out, let me just introduce him. This is Simba the cat. Oh my gosh, he's disappearing, but it's hard, I guess, because his color. Oh gosh, maybe not the best idea, but he's the one that had the broken tail that you really helped me with. And I guess he's so light, he goes in and out on the green screen.
Hi, pretty boy.
The tail is so much better. It really is.
Okay.
She coached me through
Can you
as
show me?
her holistic. Oh, well, he just left. But
Never mind.
It's so much better. Maybe he'll pop up, but if not, yeah, he's a little shy, I guess. But he's never been on camera.
But tell us.
Yeah,
because
he had the crooked, the bent tail. I think one of the kids must have slammed him in the door. I don't know. But anyway, he is so much better. You told me, okay, that's not an emergency.
Right?
Keep
Right?
pulling on it, heat compress,
Track
and
gentle.
it's you still feel the bump. It's not as bad and it's not as crooked. So it may straighten out, like you said, it may not, but he is so happy and doing so well. So I just want to thank you for that. And I figured I'd bring him on live today,
Oh, that's beautiful. He's gorgeous. And it's great. So that's beautiful because 2 weeks ago we talked about Simba with his tail. And at that point you didn't know, did he get in a fight? Is it an abscess? Do we need to go to the emergency room? And I'm like, is he eating and drinking? And you're like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, not an emergency, but we need to deal with it. And I taught you how to gently do traction. You got the kids involved.
Yes, good memory.
I know. Last week you're telling me.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Healthy Possibility, everyone. Possibilities, I should say. I just want to welcome our friend here officially. It's healthypossibilities.com, and she's based out of Tampa, Florida, but she's working with clients all over the world with natural methods to help your pets. Without the medicine, without the pharmaceuticals, and she's amazing. She's helping so many, and you're dedicated to this. I love your membership aspect. I love you as a person, as a veterinarian. All that you've done in your career. She's done a lot, and now she's into holistic medicine for our pets, which is better than ever. So, hi, welcome back.
Hi. And Simba in New York.
Yes.
Or the city, up there in the north.
Yes, we're on Long Island, actually, but
okay.
Excited that I was able to bring him to you today. So tell us a little bit about what you're doing and what do you want to discuss for today?
Yeah, well, thank you, because I did want to check in on Simba. I wanted to talk about how, have you ever noticed that people and their pets share similar illnesses?
And looks. I thought you were going to say looks. I think sometimes
there's that too. And I keep thinking, do I look like a pit bull? I might. I definitely act like one.
There you go. Behavior patterns. But
that's
interesting. Right. Wait, so that's a thing where people really get sick and their pet gets sick too?
There's absolutely, there's some of it. So Healthy Possibilities, PAWSIB, and lots of I's. Possibilities. And I talk about things like this in my blog post. So one of the things, for example, I had a woman in yesterday with her kitty, Smokey the cat. When I met Smokey, he had crunchies all around his neck and he was really scabby. And all we did was fix the food. And now he's gorgeous and he's getting fat, which in a way is good because it means he likes his food and he's eating real food. So we just have to train Daddy. Stop overfeeding your son. But Mom asked me after she went home, she's like, oh, I forgot to bring it up. Mom noticed that or was feeling bad and went to an integrative practitioner for herself and discovered that she had mold. And then she and her husband went home and they found mold in their apartment. And I think mold is becoming more and more recognized because down here in Florida it's always humid, but when I lived in Indiana we had horrible mold issues. They're depending on the part of the country there's a different mold that causes issues. There's Desert Southeast has its own thing. I'm sure you have. I know you do because it gets moist. Think what we do in the winter. In the winter it's cold, we close the doors. We try to humidify because the air is really dry. And sometimes mold can grow and it grows in the air ducts and that sort of thing. So humans who fight chronic illness, maybe mold, stop and go, wait a minute, what about my dog or my cat? Because they're in the same environment. Sometimes pets fight it off better. Sometimes pets actually get it worse. Kind of depends on, the rest of the stuff. All my favorite things to talk about. How's the general health of the animal? But then think about us humans, how much stress we have. And so that weakens our immune system. So maybe that makes us more susceptible.
True.
So yes, her mold question was really good. And what was neat is that because she's going to an integrative practitioner, she had herbs for herself. And I'm like, oh, you can share those with Smokey. And I told her how much and all of that. And then we can check it next time I see Smokey. So that was one example. Lyme disease is another huge example, really prevalent in the Northeast. And no, you don't share it with each other, but you go hiking
With each
together.
other. Yes. I
Right,
get it.
exactly. And somebody gives somebody a tick. We always blame the animals. It's not always the animals. Sometimes we humans bring them home and then the tick goes crawling and goes and finds somebody else. But Lyme disease, huge problem. Know anybody with any humans with Lyme
My
disease?
girlfriend. Yep. She has it.
Oh gosh, and is she fighting chronic health issues and having big
she's got the
problems?
lupus and she's got a lot of issues from it.
Yes, it starts this crazy cycle of illness. And we have a tendency in veterinary medicine. Okay, so we do a heartworm test. Dogs go to the vet. Every year they get a heartworm test. The most common heartworm test also includes tick diseases, including Lyme. So the little blue dot on the test says, oh, Lyme positive. And the vet looks at the dog and goes, oh, you're fine. Does nothing. Or maybe the vet goes, oh, you look fine. Well, we'll do a month of antibiotics and he'll test positive for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
But let's ask your girlfriend now. How's she feel?
She's not doing well. She's had this for like 10 years now, and her immunity just stinks. And she's always online posting about the lupus and the pain and the joints and all that, which I don't, I don't personally know, but I feel horrible.
Isn't that awful? And so why would we blow it off and wait until it's a problem?
Yeah, no.
Because we want less people to suffer like your girlfriend, not more. And animals. And Lyme, definitely dogs and horses get Lyme. And then there's some of the other tick diseases that cattle and livestock get, but then they bring it to our animals, Ehrlichia, Anaplasma, which are like big words.
Yeah,
really
I'm like, wait, what? I gotta Google that. Hold on, let me get the phone.
Right. Weird tick disease.
Oh, okay,
but
perfect.
Animals get really sick. And so Western medicine, your girlfriend is discovering Western medicine really doesn't have the perfect answer for Lyme.
No.
It's a very difficult disease. Well, same thing in animals. So why would we wait until they get sick? Because if a 30-pound dog gets as sick as your girlfriend, that dog's not going to be here for long because it's suffering and people aren't going to let it suffer.
Yeah.
By the time we go that long, it's really hard to treat. This is what your girlfriend's going through, is that it's really hard to treat once you have that complex of this causes this, causes this. So I like to suggest to people, when your dog shows up positive on a little snap test in the clinic for Lyme, let's start working on it herbally, naturally, food. I have, knock on wood, I have been lucky, and it takes patience. It can take a year, but with constant rotation of herbal formulas, I can get animals to stop testing positive for Lyme.
Really?
And I'm actually following a protocol that there's human chiropractors, Michael Leibowitz and his son, Noah Leibowitz, work very hard with humans with chronic disease.
Wow.
And they've developed some beautiful nutritional supplements
Mm-hmm.
and they have all of the research behind it that shows, oh, look, I've got 10 herbs on my shelf that may help with Lyme disease.
Wow. I never heard
And
of such a thing. I can't wait to tell her. Okay. Wow.
I know it's very exciting. It's exciting to know that we have these sort of options,
Yeah.
but we don't learn this in vet school. We don't learn options because we learn the classic model. That's fine.
The
There's a place for
standard
it.
way.
Broken bone, let's
Mm-hmm.
go to the regular vet.
Yeah.
Um, Kink in the tail, what's the point?
Yes.
But if I've got a
Oh,
broken leg and I got a bone sticking out sideways,
okay.
absolutely.
Then we need you. Yes.
That needs to go. Right. Surgery, you bet. There's absolutely a need for a lot of this. So it's interesting. Animals can be sentinels for our health.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So, in fact, when I was working on my master's degree in public health at
Wow.
Purdue, there was one of the researchers in the department was thinking about partnering with Banfield because it's a national company. They have this national database using animals as sentinels for human health issues.
Wait, we're talking animal testing? Is that what we're
No,
getting at
no,
here? Or I'm,
no,
I'm
no.
confused. Wait.
Thank you. I didn't
Oh,
explain
oh,
that well
oh,
at
I'm
all.
sorry. Well,
Yes, good. Let me speak in full
go.
sentences.
I'm sorry.
So, Banfield is one of the national veterinary clinics. And anyway, I don't need to talk about them. Anyway, they're a national veterinary clinic. And so they have this tremendously huge database of dogs and cats from all over the country. And so researchers could use anonymous data from these animals and go, oh, look, in Houston, there's a problem with some virus. Dogs and cats are getting this virus. So that's a signal that maybe humans need to be looking for it.
Okay.
Or look, in Connecticut, there are a whole bunch of dogs and cats being tested positive for Lyme in 2024. I bet we're going to get a resurgence of humans with Lyme. So, hey, human physicians, you need to be on the lookout for
Got it.
people displaying Lyme symptoms. So, yeah, sorry, full ideas is really useful.
It's okay. It's okay.
But it's interesting because they're tiny little packets. I mean, Mr. Simba right there, what's he, 13, 14 pounds of stud muffin?
Probably. He's a big cat. I don't even
He's
know.
a
I have
big
the
boy, big
litter.
face.
Yeah, he's a big. I adopted him from Connecticut because the woman who got him, he's like a year old, and his sister, who I didn't take, I was supposed to, but then she was pregnant, so I just took him. The son was so allergic to him.
Ah,
Like he's like a purebred Siberian something. I don't know. He's from Russia. I just know I was looking for a cat. And long story short, bring it home. He's so sweet. We love him. And then my son, who doesn't have allergies, all of a sudden has allergies. So we started him on allergy shots. That's fine. I'm like, we're not getting rid of the cat.
beautiful,
Yeah, we got. You'll get him
beautiful.
in no time.
And so did the allergy shots work for your son?
Oh, but well, I've done them personally, and they've worked
Mm-hmm.
for me.
Mm-hmm.
My other son has been on them for like 2 years. Not even he wasn't even allergic to cats. Now the new son, he's not new. He's 7, but we started like 6 months ago, and he's not allergic anymore so far. But I know we're supposed to keep it up, and we are once a week right now until he goes to maintenance mode a month out, like me and my other son are. So I
Very
believe
nice.
in that. Right? Giving yourself a little bit of something your body doesn't like, over time you're going to tolerate it. Doesn't that make
It's an
sense?
interesting thing, isn't it? You want to know something weird?
Uh-oh.
That's the idea behind homeopathy,
Oh.
which it's fascinating. So in the allergy science, they're actually incorporating this homeopathy idea that you give
Hmm.
micro amounts of something that causes illness to reset the body so that it stops having a problem. And I did the same thing. I did long before I knew anything about natural medicine. Before I went to vet school, I'm like, okay, I'm so allergic to cats. So I went and I got the allergy shots. And they're like, well, we don't know if it's going to work and whatever. And as long as I don't put them in my face, I'm great. I can do cats. And it's interesting because my daughter, who's 21 now, she's like, I want allergy shots because I can't be around. I can't get the cats near me. I'm like, well, we need to fix that. But it's a micro dose. It's a skill amount. So the immune system goes, ooh, maybe we should talk to that little thing. It's fascinating. And so even though Western medicine, what we consider Western medicine, the conventional allopathic, the regular stuff, early 1900s, a report called the Flexner Report, Flexner. Flexner was some guy who was hired by Carnegie to disprove homeopathy.
What? Really?
Well, yeah, because Carnegie had lots of money in the pharmaceutical industry. And so if we debunk homeopathy, they kick it out of medical school. It loses credibility in pharmaceuticals all the way. It was genius. However, supported or not, humans were very well manipulated 120 years ago with this report. But it is interesting, isn't it, that the allergy system still uses that idea of those itty bitty little doses of something.
Interesting.
No, and then they call it Western medicine and they charge lots of money.
You're funny.
I did it again. It's my MO. I always do that. So people and animals and sharing disease. Now, some things get a little odd, we might say. I can't tell you how many times I've had somebody come in and I listen to the dog's heart and I go, oh, I hear a heart murmur. And then I tell the owner what the traditional Western medicine is for a heart murmur. And the owner goes, oh, well, I have a heart condition. That's the medicine I take. And I'm like, all right.
Yep.
I don't know why you both have heart disease.
Interesting.
It is interesting. There are, you want to go to the land of different?
Yeah.
The land of different. So have you ever spoken to an animal communicator?
Yes, I have.
Okay. I would never have believed in such a thing. I didn't even know it existed when I went to vet school. By the time I went to chiropractic training and I heard about an animal communicator, I'm like, what? And now I have a group of clients who use animal communicators, and there's something there. But those people, they're like, okay, my animal's trying to help heal me. And I'm like, okay, so you need to deal with your crap. And Fluffy, you deal with your own stuff. Do not take mommy and daddy's stuff. Keep it separate. Don't take it on. We all need to be responsible for ourselves. I don't know. I don't know. There's something with energy, quantum field. I don't know. And then for people who are really conservative, they just switched the station and said, I'm not listening to that wacky stuff anymore.
Yep.
But it's interesting. It's interesting. I don't know. There's an element of it. And Frenchies and their owners might look the same.
Some of them do, I'm telling you.
Golden retrievers might look just like their mom.
That's hysterical.
It's kind of cute. So what other diseases? We all drink the same water. So think of people who were in Michigan and really any big city who has old pipes and nobody's telling you about it. Unless people are buying purified water or doing some kind of filtration, you're all drinking the same water with some kind of waste product in it. And so if there can be illness from it, you'll both get it.
Interesting.
Have you ever investigated your local water?
No, I have not.
Okay, if you want to gross yourself out in your free time, look up, look it up for your city, your borough. Look up a water report, and they'll tell you what was in the water, and they'll say, we passed our test. And they're going to list a whole bunch of metabolites, toxins, byproducts that might be in the water. And on the day of the test, those products were less than the acceptable level, but they weren't zero.
Oh, okay. So
When
there's a,
So, right. Well, they know that the test is coming, so they clean up the pipes. I used to live in Terre Haute, Indiana, and Terre Haute was known to have high levels of Prozac and antidepressants in the tap water because the water filtration system wasn't getting it all cleared out.
well, I guess we're allowed to have certain harmful substances in our water, is what you're saying? Like,
It made it through the filtration system and came back around.
oh,
We're not supposed to have that.
how do we
No,
even know?
you don't,
Ah,
unless you get a water sample and you send it off to, there's some labs that
oh my
test
gosh.
for all kinds of crazy stuff. Here in Tampa Bay, our pipes are cleaned, made safe with chloramine, not chlorine, not ammonia, but the combo chloramine. The metabolites, the breakdown byproducts are linked to cancer and birth defects. Well, they're present at a low
Yeah.
level.
Okay.
It's okay. It's below the threshold. But when it's
Okay.
your baby,
Mm-mm.
then all of a sudden you care.
Yeah.
Or how about we have a little packet? So Simba's 14 pounds. He's a little packet. And all of those byproducts accumulate in there. Here it's funny. Twice a year we get emails that say, well, we're cleaning the water system and there's going to be a particularly high smell of chlorine for the next month, but don't worry, it's safe.
Oh my gosh.
Right. So the water system is flushing those giant pipes that bring the water to us and scraping the crap off the sides with these chemicals so that the crap doesn't build up and accumulate and plug up the pipe. And where does it go? Downstream to our house. So it's all happening all over. Purified water is good. We like clean water
Mm-hmm.
for everybody, and it people don't think about that, or they don't think about it for their pets. People come in and I'm like, well, what kind of water do you drink? And they go, oh, fancy foo-foo water. I'm like, good. Do you give that to your pet? No.
Mm-mm.
Why not? um I don't know. And you can see the wheels turning and they're like, oh my goodness, for the same reason I don't drink the water. Or how about fluoride? Oh, there's controversy, right? But the idea with fluoride in the water is that it's supposed to decrease cavities on our teeth.
Wow, that's
That's
true.
fine on our teeth, right? But why do I drink
Why
it
am I
and put it
drinking it?
in my, right? So I put it into my whole body. And where does fluoride go? To the bones.
Does it? Yeah. If you're
Right.
drinking.
It
Okay,
goes
okay.
to the bones and it's implicated in bone cancer.
Oh my gosh.
And what's one of the cancers that's starting to be more and more prevalent in animals? Bone cancer.
Interesting.
hmm So, right. There's also some evidence that fluoride in the water decreases IQ in children.
Really?
But what about in our pets? So if our pets are drinking
They're
it,
drinking the same water. That's right.
they're
Yeah, it's some
drinking the
uh-huh.
right. Right. And so maybe this is the reason why an animal might be hard to train. Same brain, same mental system as our two-legged
Okay.
children. And so maybe it's a little bit more difficult for our four-legged children to learn.
Okay.
when their body's being bombarded with these chemicals.
Oh. Darn.
Your wheels are turning. I love it.
Yeah, this is,
I have done
think
my
about
job.
this.
Yes.
You always do. Always do.
Right. Yeah. And these are they're just little things. So that's part of what I talk about with people every single day. No matter why they come to me, often people are coming to me because their pet has fill in the blank disease and they want to know how to address it with diet. But we talk about all these other things because if we fix the diet, but continue to, so what if the dog has cancer, but we continue to feed tap water, which the fluoride and the chloramine byproducts that we have in Tampa Bay are both linked to cancer. We're not making that dog's life better. We got to get rid of the contaminated water. Healthy possibilities.
Thank you. I'm looking at I got a water filtration system. I got to Google what's happening in my town, what's in my water. Thank you for reminding me.
You do. You do. It's scary. It's scary. And then you shower in it and your kids are showering.
Wait, and then I'm also like, what do? I use the Brita filter and I use that in the fridge. Is that really any good? Okay. You're going to tell me next, well, why aren't you Brita in your cat's water? And I'm going to be like embarrassed because I'm not.
Okay. Brita is a beginning. My understanding with Brita is that it takes out chlorine.
That's it? Okay.
Only.
Okay.
And there may be tons more, but it's a start.
Okay.
And some people use their fridge filters. Some fridge filters take out only chlorine, like the Brita. Some fridge filters are multi-stage and take out a lot of contaminants, like a reverse osmosis system. And then it's like, well, do you need to put the minerals back in? And you got it. And water is huge. Water is a huge deal.
Interesting. What do you have? What type of water is there in Florida?
We have horrible water because of the chloramine and the fluoride. So I use a reverse osmosis system at home. I sent my daughter off to college and she has a Berkey filter on the counter. And Berkey, I don't know if you can even get them right now because their filters got in trouble with the EPA.
Okay.
It's silly. It's politics. The filters got in trouble. I think basically they were supposed to register with the EPA and they didn't.
Okay.
And I think that's ultimately what it is. But Berkey is well known for removing everything nasty from the water. And then you can get a different filter for the fluoride.
All right. Thank you. I'm going to do more research on this too and look up that. I wrote it down, water report. All right. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much. And we're out of time, unfortunately, but always a pleasure speaking with you, darling. How do we reach you if someone wants to contact you? Join the membership program of, hey,
membership. Check out the free report. Yep. Healthy Possibilities with a PAW, PAW.com.
Thank you. Always a pleasure, sweetheart.
My pleasure.
You have a great day and looking forward to next time. And maybe I'll get Simba back on the show. But thank you again for all your help with him and his tail. He is feeling much better. Thank you.
He's a good boy.
Now I got to get all the hair off me. All right. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye, sweetheart.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.